Czech, we call this Nooshky, you know, and we call this Noosh. But in Eurovision, this word means something else. Noosh101, it's one of my favorite vloggers. It's a vlogger from the UK. It's a vlogger who doesn't afraid share her opinion in honest, whether you like it or not. And that's what I seek, that's what I feel that needs to be shared as well. So let's talk with her. What's the origin of her name? What she thinks about the Eurovision, what she thinks about the vlogging for Eurovision, and how she gets to it, and maybe how you can get started as well. It's Noosh101.
Noosh, I'm glad you're here with me. How are you doing today?
I'm really good, thanks, Jan. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having you. I'm really glad that you're here. And my first question maybe is going to be a bit common, maybe you're used to it, but what's 101 means?
So this is actually kind of funny because I used to watch a show called Zoe 101 when I was really, really young. And ever since then, I've just stuck with the name Noosh 101, and I don't know, it's just not really gone away. Now it's stuck with me for life. So yeah, it doesn't actually mean anything really. It's just a weird quirky name from when I was younger, and I still have it now.
I like it. I was always thinking it's pronounced like Noosh, because that's how I would probably, when I see it, read it.
Yeah.
But you say Noosh.
Noosh.
It's like much faster, but that's a British accent, or both it's relevant?
Yeah, well, in Armenian, which is where my name comes from, Anushka is my full name, and my parents have just always called me Noosh. So ever since like a young age, everyone's just called me Noosh, and I don't know, I guess with my accent it sounds funny, but I have a lot of people that say Noosh in the English accent, and that's not specifically right, but I don't mind it. I've heard it many ways, so whatever you want to call me, go for it.
Yeah, I would like to call you properly, but maybe sometimes it will slip on. I'm still used to saying the longer way, but that's not the reason why we are, of course, talking to each other today, because I started to be a vlogger. I was a producer of Eurovision for Czech Republic, and I am fascinated by the vlogging world around the Eurovision, and you're one of the persons I'm observing for a longer time, and really curious of your opinions all the time long. But you haven't started as a Eurovision vlogger. You started much sooner with very different content. So how did this transformation happen for Eurovision?
So I've always wanted to find my niche. And it's funny, I had only really figured out what I wanted to do this year, but I've been on YouTube since, I don't know, maybe 10 years, which is crazy, but very infrequently posting. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I was doing like beauty one day, I was doing food the other day, I was doing some weird gaming another day. And yeah, I had no idea what I really had a passion for, because I have so many different interests, and I really didn't know which one that would be. Anyway, so I got into reactions because of Eurovision Hub. They actually came to me because they saw one of my vlogs, which I had about Eurovision, and had a very strong opinion, which probably, it got a lot of hate, but it also got a lot of attention. I think they found me from there. And then I was on Eurovision Hub for, I think it was 2 years. And I guess that's where loads of people started to recognize me. And after I left Eurovision Hub, which is a bit of a story, but I just decided I want to continue doing reaction videos, because that's something that people enjoy, and I love to do as well, because I always have an opinion and I'm not afraid to say my mind. And I mean, it's negative and positive, but for me, it's more positive, and I just love making that kind of content now. So now I'm fully in that zone, which is great, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's great as well, and I think it's great for the whole community. You know, not just vloggers or the Eurovision fans in general, but I think, you know, even artists and producers are watching it. We are all right. as we want to know the opinions from the other sides, and new vloggers actually, and I'm just generalizing it, but specifically you, Noosh, is that you have those opinions and you say them right now, but how do you feel? Do you feel responsible for what you say, or you just don't really care?
Definitely, you've got to always be gentle with your audience at times, because it's going to offend someone if you're completely slagging off their song, or you've got to say it in a specific way. And I've learned that now, because
you need to learn me as well.
Yeah, because there's a way to say things with criticism, but also without like hurting someone's feelings and kind of disrespecting someone's culture. Because coming from someone that lives in Europe, but I don't know specifically about these cultures as much as I could do, I might say something that is so disrespectful, but I wouldn't know that because I don't know anything about that culture. So you've got to be really gentle in that sense. But if it's about the song, I think you have to like just say it how it is as well, because you can't sugarcoat it. You can't just say, oh, this is a really good song, but then like it's actually not, and everybody knows it's not. Like, you've got to almost tune in onto everyone else's opinion, which you kind of will get when you start watching them, because you can tell, although music is so subjective, and I found that as well. Like, oh my gosh, sometimes I don't like ballads, but loads of people like ballads as well. So it's a hard one. You've just got to do it in a gentle manner, and don't be disrespectful to someone else's culture and race. That's the most important thing.
Speaking about ballads, it's just a little shortcut to somewhere else, but if there's a good ballad, would you accept it, or it's just in general dislike of ballads?
I would accept it. Like Duncan Lawrence with that song, like that was so beautiful. When I first heard it though, definitely was a bit like, oh, not again, because I feel like they always win, and like I just want like a fun song to win like one year, and like I'm all into like, you know, the dance beats more than anything, and that's why I love music so much. I'm really into electronic music. So when I hear like a ballad and I'm like, oh no, I have a feeling it's going to win, it kind of does annoy me. But at the same time, if it's a good ballad and it grabs my attention and I really start like feeling emotional, that means it's doing its job. So I can't sit there and say it's a bad song, can I? Yes, it's a good song.
Yeah, but what if it's a bad dance song then? Would you
There's definitely bad dance songs all the time. There was this Armenian Eurovision song that was like Bing Bang Bong or something, and it was so bad. I was like, I can't remember what it was called, but I mentally blocked it out of my brain basically. I'm very like, it needs to be a good song. Like, I need to actually be able to move, and if the song isn't doing that and I'm not feeling connected to that, then no, it's not happening. Doesn't matter what it is.
I'll maybe play you then the song from Czech Republic just to have just your reaction in here just for this video. Even it's not going to be actual when the time I will release it, of course. That's how it is. But how do you deal with the critic? How do you deal when somebody just tells you like that, or hate comment or something that you hurt my feelings because you dislike the song, or you're completely wrong, or your taste is just horrible, you know?
Yeah, I get that all the time. All the time. Well, I mean, over the last year especially, I've been getting a lot more attention with some of my videos. I've learned to just kind of ignore anything negative, because if you sit there and focus on the negative comments, you're just going to be thinking about it all day. Like, oh, do I take this video down? Like, and I always think that, but I put so much hard work into making these videos, and it is my opinion, and people are coming to watch someone else's opinion. If someone gets, there's going to be people that get offended by anything, and you've just got to know that. And we live in a big wide world full of opinions, and it's only normal to have these conversations. It's just, I wish there was more kind of, not debates, but accepting each other for their differences. Because some people really just, they really don't get it. Like, oh, you're stupid, you don't know anything. I'm like, well, it's not about me knowing anything. It's just you're coming here to watch my opinion on this song. That's all it is. It's not that deep. But yeah, I mean, I get bad days where, I mean, sometimes the way I've articulated my opinion is not the best. I do find I get a lot more hate, and that's how you learn to, you know, be a bit more gentle.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. How is the learning curve for you? Or do you have this upside downs as well all the time, because you are making so much of the content almost every day, kind of, it looks like. How it depletes your energy? How do you refill it? How does this work for you?
It's so time consuming, and I try and get the videos up as soon as possible. I mean, I have a normal job as well, so I am working 24/7 pretty much, which is fine because I feel like what I'm doing is so rewarding. So that's what's keeping me going. It's not so much, oh, I want to get loads of views. It's more, I am doing something that I really enjoy and people are also enjoying now. So together, that gives me that kind of energy. And I wake up and I feel motivated to do something. And during this lockdown, it has been a lifesaver. I cannot tell you, like, it has kept me so distracted from what is going on outside, which has been great. But yeah, I can't imagine, like, the days I have, like, one day off, I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, what is it to do? So, like, that's what's keeping me going. And it'll be interesting to see when the lockdown does ease up if I'll still have that, but I think I will, because I think I started properly like maybe January or February last year, like doing the Eurovision stuff anyway, and I loved it as much as I do now then. So yeah, it really can help. I can see it on myself how it distracts me, how it helps me to fill in this gap. But you know, the lockdown is everywhere, almost the same, plus minus, you know, whatever. It's almost the same. But tell me how it's rewardable for you, that you feel like you see on your channel that it's rising up, how this helps you as well, or does it help you? I mean, of course, I didn't ever think in my wildest dreams that I'd be getting like nearly 10,000, 9,000 subscribers in my life. Like, I didn't think that would be a possibility. So that, of course, keeps you going. And it does feel like, to me, that is better than money any day. I don't care what, I mean, I don't make any, like, much money. I'm sure you probably understand. Like, YouTube does not, it does not pay anything. So it's not about that, and it never has been about that. But that, to me, when I see people are getting something beneficial from my videos, is the rewarding aspect, and it is really nice. I mean, it's great that your hard work does pay off, for sure.
Yeah, do you even feel that you're as a blogger are recognized more among the Eurovision bubble or Eurovision audience, or do you have even the viewers from not the bubble, you know, somebody who you are actually bringing to the world of Eurovision? You're the first contact, kind of, or the one who changed their opinion?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because, like, that now I feel like there's a lot more vloggers than there's ever been, but I've never really seen myself as like the Eurovision girl. But I guess it's funny because I went to London Eurovision party in 2019, and I hadn't really done much on my channel for Eurovision. I had just been on Eurovision Hub, and I had a lot of people there come and like were like, oh no, and I was like, this is really weird, I'm not used to this, like this is strange. But like in normal day-to-day life, obviously, like in England, not that many people actually watch Eurovision, which is, I guess, like annoying at times because everyone thinks I'm the weird girl that likes Eurovision. I embrace it. It's great.
Yeah, but the strange things on it that in UK the people actually are watching in large numbers.
Yeah.
Eurovision, but they're secretly like it's something they don't want to be connected.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the problem of the BBC, that they don't work properly with the brand?
Honestly, I think it doesn't help with politics, number one. Like, we're not in a good place as a country at the moment with Europe. I think there's been a rift for many years, and I think you can see that in the way that we perform as well. And I don't think they put in any effort into the competition when finding a song. Like, why are they so bad? They're so bad, the songs. And we have so many musicians. It's because they are, like, any musicians that have a reputable, a good reputation, they feel like they're going to tarnish that by coming to Eurovision, because that's what everyone as a whole in the UK feels like about Eurovision. It's sad because it's such an amazing contest, and I feel like the last year, especially during the film that came out on Netflix, we've seen a bit of a shift even here. I feel like a lot more of my friends have come to me and have been like, oh yeah, who's gonna do this from what's the best person at the moment, or just asking different questions. So I do feel like there's going to be a change, but at the moment they need to really sort out the whole like selection process, because for me the music's just not strong enough at all, especially now with the whole, I mean, you've been seeing the songs coming out this year, the standard is so high, like it's so high. The UK needs to really buck up and find a good songs.
Yeah, I'm always curious because I was actually on the side of producing the Eurovision in Czech Republic.
That's so cool.
Just building up this whole process, how to bring up songs, artists. We were struggling with the bad reputation of Eurovision in here as well. Still a bit struggling, but among artists, it's just fine. They're just fine. It's reasonable project for them. In UK, I think it can be done as well, but I'm, far from this vlogging fun bubble of Eurovision, which you are part of already. How would you change it if you have this power? What would you like to do it? How you feel it?
Like change, you mean the select? Like...
Well, the UK approach, or
okay,
yeah.
Well, for me, I mean, I would probably, if I had the choice between UK or Armenia, because I think personally at the moment Armenia is also struggling a bit with their selection processes, because they've got a lot of corruptness behind the government, and there's some things going on there which means a lot of money's involved, and when money's involved and only money's involved, it becomes a business and it takes away from the talent. So I think I would want to go to Armenia first because of the war that happened as well. I would like to help them and their selection process, because we have so many great Armenian artists there, and I would love to combine some lovely old Armenian traditional music with some contemporary stuff, and nothing slow anymore. We've been so depressed in Armenia for so long. I mean, I miss Iveta and Sarusha, these fun artists. What is going on? So I know that there's something dodgy going on at times. I mean, Athena was good last year, and I was actually kind of sad that I didn't see her, but it was becoming a bit too mainstream for my liking for Armenia, where it is a place full of such amazing music. We want to see that country's music replicated in Eurovision, like many other amazing songs in Eurovision are like.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Do you think that your Armenian ancestry and probably as well the Armenian influence has gotten you into this world of Eurovision, or helped you to overcome the struggle of being a UK girl hating Eurovision?
100%. So ever since I was really young, we've had all of our Armenian friends come round to my mum's house. And this is where it all started, basically. We would have parties every single year with the Armenians, rooting for Armenia, because there's not really many contests that Armenia's in. And it was just an exciting thing. And we had good songs. So we were like, yeah, we've come forth. We haven't won ever, but we've come forth. And we'd be just making such a tradition of it. And I mean, I was definitely the most obsessed still, out of the group. And I would be looking at the calendar every year, the songs coming out, the build up to Eurovision's here. It would be such an exciting thing, and it still is for me. But yeah, being Armenian, and also Armenian from a Cypriot background too, because that's where my grandparents grew up. Every time we went to Cyprus, everyone's obsessed. You'd hear Eurovision music everywhere. And I loved that. I was like, this is great. And it's fun, and I want to party all the time. And it was just such an amazing thing for me that, yeah, I think the culture definitely helps, because I think a lot of English people get a bit freaked out from a lot of ethnic beats sometimes. sometimes.
Yeah, man, I'm not different, but it's like if it's like the Ukrainian song, I completely love it. Like, it's not about actually the influence; it's about upping the quality or kind of specific vibe.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Ukraine's a really good example of that though, because their song, honestly, that I don't even know. That might be my like favorite, like that or Lithuania at the moment. But it's gonna change, I'm sure. Like we've got many songs to come.
Yeah, maybe many times, maybe not, but hopefully it will. But or another great songs will appear at your playlist.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Cyprus and its influence on you, do you like how they do Eurovision, or would you change it as well?
Lately I've been quite enjoying their stuff. I mean, last year's was getting a bit too samey from the last year. Wait, no, it was, what was his name? It was the guy, I forgot his name. Keep on falling. That was the last year's song, wasn't it? They've got this one producer that I think seems to, I think they're called Panic Records. They seem to do all of the artists for Eurovision. So they've got a good like record label that I think is quite reputable. So at the moment, I'm quite happy with where it has been. And to be honest, I think that Cyprus is in this kind of strength. Like, I don't know, the last few years seem very, very strong, and they've been like really popular amongst everyone. So, you know, I mean, Eleni changed the game, I think. That song. Everyone was just going mad in Cyprus. Like, I remember going to Cyprus that year, and I just opened out like the balcony windows, and it was blaring out, and I was like, this is just so like amazing. And yeah, anyway, that I think I'm happy with where it is with Cyprus, but who knows, it might change.
Yeah, how your opinion changed over the Eurovision, as I feel sometimes from other vloggers and bloggers and Eurovision journalists and fans as well, that it's hard for them, more they are into Eurovision, it's hard for them to reach out from the bubble and see a bigger picture. Like, as you said, like in Armenia, they pick some artists, but maybe they could pick much better artist or better song, which is there, whatever. But you, not specifically you, but a lot of people are then comparing the song from the previous Eurovision song without knowing the context in the actual country. Do you think even us as producers or televisions are doing a good work on supporting your information channels to understand more what we are doing in the backstage? Or you would like to improve this?
Yeah, I think it needs to be improved a bit, personally, because I don't think that a lot of people, I mean, with me, I do, of course, compare the years, because if they've done a really good song the previous year, it's hard to just be like, oh, but last year's song was just so good, because it does show a certain level of effort that they put in, I think, to finding a good song. And I kind of wish we knew more about those selection processes. I know we have the national finals and stuff, but there isn't a lot about how we pick them, where these people come from. Have they written their songs themselves? Like, where is this coming from? Because a lot of the songs are pre-recorded by different people. Like, I met last year an Armenian composer for Sweden, and she'd written the song for the Mamas. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, no one thinks about that. No one talks about any of this. And that is a huge part of what makes the song. So, yeah, I think that I wish there was a bit more information on that side of things. But, yeah, I mean, it's difficult not to compare songs some years.
No, for sure. I'm doing the same. I always just think how much it is fair. Or, you know, sometimes I read the article or the comment, which is like, oh, they inspired themselves by, you know, Duncan Lawrence. But as I know those people, they probably don't even know who Duncan Lawrence is, you know. So it doesn't really work that way. And sometimes it worked that way, of course, as I see those patterns as well from maybe different point of view. Speaking of this complexity of how the song is made, that you met this Armenian composer, are you a fan of this that will sound stupid, but though, like that the composer from different countries composing song from different representative of the other country. Sometimes, because I'm asking specifically for me, sometimes it feels that there are just few like Eurovision composers. Even I know there are millions of composers, and Eurovision maybe is nothing specific. What do you think about this topic? Is Eurovision super specific?
I think it is quite specific at times, because I do find a lot of composers from other songs, like I remember, like was it Jon Lundvik? He's composed so many other songs, I believe, for other countries, and I know Greece has had a few with Cyprus and vice versa. And then we had like last year, what was it? I say na na na. He was Turkish, that guy as well. What's his name?
Serhat from San Marino.
But he's Turkish. So, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's the same with the composers, though. I don't really think it matters so much if that song represents that country. I think if it does that job, then that's fine. But if it's becoming something so generic and so dissociated from that country, then what's the point? You know, you want to have that feel. And I think a lot of people get a bit annoyed when I say, oh, why does it have to have an ethnic beat? It doesn't have to have an ethnic beat, but I do think it's important to have some kind of familiar, we need to know where this is coming from, and I think it bonds with your audience way more, especially when you see that little spice in there. If that makes sense.
How do you recognize? How can you recognize it? So, for example, Czech Republic. What is it for Czech Republic?
Yeah. See, this is the thing. Like, as I don't fully know what that is, I would like to be taught that in the song in a way, but the only way I would know is because it would sound to me a little bit more traditional versus like a contemporary LA kind of beat that we hear on the radio every single day. That's what I mean. It's something a bit different and it sounds traditional. That's with little bits of traditional. I don't mean like fully traditional, because I mean it works that way too. Don't get me wrong. Like Ukraine when they won, that was a great with Jamala. Like that was amazing. Oh my god, that bit when she like cried out, like you could just feel the passion and everything, and that was added because it had that old Ukrainian kind of wail, which was about, like even this year they've got that chanting that, I don't know, it goes through my bones. That's the way I can describe, but I know what you mean.
No, I completely understand. You're having goosebumps and you just feel the music even you don't understand the lyrics, because it just speaks through you somehow. And some songs, they're just bland, they're just pour over you, and they're just in the kennel, and you don't know where they go as well, and you don't care.
Exactly.
But this is a very interesting topic of how this really works, as you are doing reactions all the time, and we, of course, I'm starting to do it as well. It's weird.
It's good.
But you're doing it very much, you're pro in it. But how hard for you is to make a reaction based on song, which is only music video, and then a live version or the live music from a different country? Is this even comparable? How do you feel from the music video already that the live will be good or wrong? Because that can change in my opinion.
Very different in my opinion. Very, very different. After like many years of just, focusing on the calendars and looking at the songs, how they come out, and then seeing them perform, the difference is just crazy sometimes. Not always. Sometimes, we get amazing songs that come out with a music video and I go, wow, this is amazing. And then they're as good on stage. But the staging is such an important part of Eurovision. And that is what people are going to be voting on. They're not voting on the music video, because half the people haven't seen the music video. It's only us fans that have seen the music video and that crazed about it. So to me, I do prefer to watch the live version, but of course, because I'm crazy obsessed with Eurovision, I like to watch the music videos too. But yeah, they're very different, and their vocals, of course, are like one of the most important things, I think. If they're kind of weak, you're not going to stand out on stage and people are going to mark you down for that. So those are the things that come into play when you're looking at something like that, I think. And yeah, people get really annoyed. Like even with Croatia, I really like the song, but her voice isn't as strong as the other people I found in the contest so far. And I think a lot of people got upset at me for saying that, but this is something that judges will look at, and you've got to put them yourself in that spot.
And that's the question, because like I was commenting on the Croatian selection. I was completely hated about it because I didn't like the general quality of the competition by music. But then of course a lot of change when I saw it live, when I saw live music, and it of course differs a lot because you can have these vocals. But what I really liked, and I was really thinking a lot about this Albina winner, is that maybe her vocals isn't that super strong as the other ones, but she has a presence and she can sell herself. Like as a producer, I would sign a contract with her immediately, because that's what I actually want to look at. Kind of, if I want to go at her concert to see and be filled with this energy, you know. And some of them, they're just great vocalists. But
you need to have a package, really. So, I mean, you do have to have a package. But yeah, I mean, she was everything. Like her makeup was so good. And yeah, it was an overall winner, I think. But I think I compare things to other songs sometimes when I should, maybe just focus on the song. But yeah, I mean, that happens, doesn't it?
No, that's absolutely all right. I was just asking specifically as well because this year it's this rule, and it's logical because of the COVID and everything, travel bans and troubles, is those pre-recorded back vocals, how they can really help the performance. Sometimes but really feels artificial to me. I saw it many times already this year. How are you afraid, or do you like this? Like, do you care about it as a rule? Do you feel it matters?
I think I agree with you in that sense. I think it can be very artificial at times if you hear it and it's like, well, that doesn't sound like 100% live, and you start questioning it. And you get a lot of people, I think, when you do hear that kind of vocal in the background, that it might distract you from the actual vocalist. So, and I think we've seen that before in the contest. I'm trying to think of the song, but I remember there was a backing singer that was just really not working with the vocalist, and it ruined her performance as a whole. So it can ruin it, and I think you're right. I think you're completely right with that.
Yeah, I didn't want to pick you this way, of course. It's my opinion only.
It is.
It is.
It's true.
Yeah, but I was having this conversation with a lot of people about this theme. I still not decided, because I understand why is it, and it really saves money from the pockets of the televisions, because another 5 people vocalist or 3 cost something, just for hotels, traveling, whatever. But as well, it can make this contest a bit Americanish kind of. And speaking of this Americanish kind of show way, which I kind of like, I have 2 actually questions regarding this. One is American song contests, and the second thing is actually the influence of Australia at Eurovision, and it's kind of, how would you describe their way at Eurovision? Is it progress, regress, surprise? What is it?
Yeah, I think with Australia, they've kind of earned their way into Eurovision just by being so infatuated for the contest. Like, any Australian you meet, they're just like, Eurovision. And I'm like, that's great. And I think that's good. And that shows that, they have that enthusiasm. So they kind of should be there. Like, UK should not be in it at this point because of the way that we've treated the contest. I guess we're one of the sponsors, so money has a big part of that again. I think with Australia, I don't have a problem with. I think they've had a few really good songs in the past. I mean, they're quite generic for me personally, because I like that, showing off Europe, and Australia isn't in Europe, but they do put a lot of effort into it. So I can't really sit here and be like, they're rubbish, get out, because they're not. They're not rubbish.
I'm glad that you're saying that, because I love them, of course.
Yeah. I think they've had some really good songs. So honestly, yeah, no problems with that. With America, I have a love-hate relationship with that country in a whole. My fiance is American, and I'm actually moving there, so I can't say that.
Will they understand you properly, or you have to change your accent at all?
Honestly, sometimes it's such a struggle. Like I go over, but they love me. It doesn't matter what I do. They worship the ground I walk on because they think I'm best friends with the Queen. And I'm like, literally, they think I know everything. The amount of times I got free stuff over there just with my accent. It's all right. It's not that bad. But yeah. So they shouldn't really be in our contest ever. But obviously, there's going to be this whole America Vision thing, right? I don't know how I feel about it. I think I need to see some kind of like example before because it's like the movie. I seriously had no faith in Will Ferrell with that movie, but I watched it and I loved it. I've seen it about 4 or 5 times now. I'm obsessed. So
you're kind of obsessed if you've seen it too much times.
Yeah, it's just the music. It's the thing. Everything, literally. It's just Eurovision in general. It had the music aspect in there, which I thought they were going to really mess up. In fact, there was 2 scenes that I wasn't too happy with. They had like this rapper come on stage, and I was like, that doesn't happen. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of American music as a whole, so I don't know how I'm going to enjoy the contest. But I mean, what ethnicity are we going to see there? Like.
Maybe just you will hear the plurality of the song diversity, because like lots of many styles are actually come from America and they're invented, like so many of current music. Anyway,
that is true.
But that brings me to another question, which I don't have written in here anyway, but I'm curious about it right now after this conversation, is where would you like to see the Eurovision to progress then? If you like not too much into American music and maybe more like into ethnic European kind of.
Yeah. Oh, I would love to see like Kazakhstan or like one of those countries come in. That would be great because they're in the Junior Eurovision contest and they really know how to do it. So I think we need to give them a chance in the adult contest too. I mean, it would be so interesting, I think, and it would bring a whole nother dynamic and maybe see some Middle Eastern countries. That would be really good. Like, oh my gosh, imagine we're going to have they call it a kef in the Middle East. It's like a party. It would be so much fun. Like, think of the instruments and everything, because that's what we've lost Turkey. And they had that. Obviously, Armenia had that. I mean, we still bring it now and then, but we need that in there as well, I think. It would be really good. And we've already got Australia, I mean...
Which is America, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, where do you stop? Like, obviously, I thought there was going to be an Asia Vision at one point, but they didn't seem to follow that up. But I do think maybe... I don't know. I think around like Kazakhstan, those countries would be great. Middle East would be great.
Yeah, I'm always curious about those countries. Like whatever country, like I prefer more current music, more modern music, because I see how it is in here with the local music in Czech Republic, and I fucking hate it. You know, it's just generic and all the same stuff. Nothing really special about it. And I'm always like a bit itching myself when somebody says, "Oh, I would like that." I don't know, Czech Republic would be a bit more localized, like, oh, we've been there already, and it was a disaster, and we're still, getting out of it because the people want to reach out abroad. Of course, you can do it without the local music, but where do you see the platform goes with this? Is this more like a platform for musicians, known or newcomers, whoever, to shine even to the world, that the Eurovision will become the serious platform for the music and setting trends, or it will become more like the local, I wouldn't say museum, but the festival of what local production can do without this, how to say it, the want to shine.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. It's interesting because obviously we've had some big artists come to Eurovision as well. Like last year with Russia, I genuinely was so happy when Little Big were gonna perform, because it showed the whole world like these people are big. They're big names. They're not just like some local person. Like they are huge. And it's not just because they're Russian. Like I found them so many years ago and I've been following their music. And for me, that's what I think last year kind of amped it up a bit with Little Big coming forward and showing the whole world, like, look, you can be as big as we are and come here and you could win. And I think that definitely shows a lot to other people, that just because you're a big name doesn't mean you can't come to Eurovision, because you could make your country proud in this way. And I think it's a great opportunity if you're an artist. Go for it, because it will definitely increase your popularity, but also it will help your country in the long run. So why not do it? And I think, yeah.
And as well, I see how it really helps vloggers to, vlogging about big names, because it's more attraction maybe to the whole brand, even the brands around the brands.
Yeah, exactly that. So no, it's really good that we're seeing bigger names now. I'm really happy to see that, because I was worried at some point in my life, like when I was going to school. I mean, it was a long time ago now, but and everyone was like, oh, you're interested in Eurovision, and I was like, oh, it's actually really fun. But now I feel like we don't have those horrible conversations as much. I don't get it anyway. I don't know if it's because I have a channel and it's doing well. It might be that, but I don't know. I think there's definitely a vibe happening that Eurovision's becoming a bit more global. Everyone knows about it. I mean, I know more Americans now that do know about it because of the movie. Like, the movie has helped. The movies have made, like, RuPaul's
also, there are a lot
Drag
of American vloggers at Eurovision World.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And and RuPaul's Drag Race, I know, I don't think you watch it, but the UK, they did a whole episode based on Eurovision. They did it, like, literally on that. So I think that, we're definitely seeing some improvements.
I have last 2 questions for you. You actually assist me with that. That's the improvements, where you would like to improve. What you would like to improve if you're vlogging? What you see that you want to go somewhere, and where it is? What's the short-term and long-term goal for your channel?
Honestly, I always think about this and I'm like, oh, where do I want to go and what do I want to do? I have so many ambitions, like too many. I'm one of those people that I have so many ideas, but I can't always put them out on paper and execute them. But I would love to make some merch eventually and go to Eurovision and actually interview these people myself. Because I had a little bit of a taster when I was in Eurovision Hub at the Eurovision party, and I mean, we interviewed Duncan and Darude and all these big names, and Kino, I can never pronounce their name. Is it Kino or Kino? See, it's a mind fuck. So I would love to go. That's my dream. That would be it. I'd be done for. I don't need to do anything else. But no, of course I would love to do more things. With my channel, I would also like to do other reactions when Eurovision isn't as big, because I mean, I've got to, do something as well in between those months. But I also have Junior Eurovision, which I started last year, and I mean, people are really interested, and I loved the contest. I underestimated it. I was like, this is going to be so rubbish, there are going to be kids running around, but it wasn't like that. They really took it seriously this year, and I think I'm going to be watching it every year now. So, yeah, I've got 2 Eurovisions and reactions at the moment, but I would, love to do interviews. That would be the dream.
So you think that this is your interview person? Well, I see you are, because you're a great guest as well. And you're super talkative, which I love and glad that this is happening, because you talk and I'm just asking simple question, which is all right. You have these complex answers. But there's one question which I'm striving to think about a lot, and I wasn't thinking about when I was producer of Eurovision, but I'm thinking about it now, how the community of vloggers actually work together. If there's something like in, you know, around like a common goal, like all of you together, if there's like good like how's it called, like relationships between you, or it's more like it's a competition.
You know, I was also thinking about this the other day, because I mean, there's always going to be an element of some competition because you're looking at each other's stuff all the time and just seeing what there's out there. But I think it's so important that we support each other, like during this like whole growth period, because at the end of the day, like I've been on the other end of the stick, especially with my past with Eurovision Hub, and I've gotten 3 really good friends out of, well, no, more than that. I've quite a few friends out of Eurovision Hub. So there's been some positives, but we've literally stuck together and asked each other questions like, oh, like, is there copyright on this video? Like small questions like that. Like they're just so important to like, you know, help each other. And instead of, you know, making enemies, when really in this world we're living in, I don't need any more. I need peace and harmony. I mean, but yeah, you're gonna always have that kind of feeling of, oh, do they want to do this to get better and all this stuff, but you just got to see it as do what you do best. That's all you need to focus on, because at the end of the day, this is your channel, no one else's channel. So, and I think everyone else has like a uniqueness to them. It's not just the same stuff. It's quite different actually. Like my good friend Luke, his stuff is pretty much similar thing to what I do, but he has a completely different style. So, you know, it's different. It's not all the same. And I think people watch you for your uniqueness, not so much, oh, you're just doing Eurovision stuff. I mean, that's an element to it, but it isn't just one thing. It's the whole, as you said, package, I guess.
Yeah, we're back at the Eurovision thing, because that what you actually said can be said as well universally, kind of what Eurovision is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's all about coming together, isn't it? And unifying the world, bringing everyone together, and you know, just enjoying the time, you know, with each other and celebrating these songs and the different cultures. I've learned so much about different cultures through this competition, and also just meeting other people and through the comments, that it's like a massive education tool in a way. So it's a great thing, really, and it's a positive thing. And if we make it a negative thing, then it's just silly, isn't it?
Yeah, let's forget about negative things. Just focus on positive things. I'm really glad that you took part at this interview at My Humans of Eurovision. I really enjoyed it. I really wish you that you grow, and you will especially enjoy what you're doing the best. Thank you.
Thank you. It was so great to be here and talk with you. It went so fast. Like, where's the time gone? Literally, it was really, really good. Thank you.
And that was Noosh101. What do you think about her opinions? What do you think what she said? What do you think about her vlog, her opinions, her future, or her influence? Let's tell me this in the comments below. I will be glad to hear it. I will be glad to read it. I will be glad to respond. And of course, I'll ask you to share, subscribe, and like the channel. Don't forget to ring the bell. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.